far that in recent memory for me since Backlash. Because I remember, so I'm going to give it a clean shaven 1. It really the show didn't do anything for me, and then the ending just basically was just like, yep, you just killed any type of momentum that you could have possibly built.
For me personally, I was very dissatisfied with the way this show went, especially towards the end. However, because of the good points, I'm going to be slightly kinder to this. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, a peach fuzz. Just because not just because of the matches, when they delivered good, and the crowd was better than they have been for the Greatest Royal Rumble once again. So I'm inclined to give this higher marks than I would have, but as far as everything else, it was just enough to get by. But it was not satisfying at all. It's like going to McDonald's for lunch. Sure, nice start, but after that, all you feel is empty and just sick.
Interesting connections, but all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. All right, I got nothing for that.
Yeah, try a Big Mac. Let me know how you feel in an hour after.
I don't like Big Macs, so pass.
And that makes you all the wiser for it. So anyway, this leads us to the rest of the week, which I only caught bits and pieces of. Raw and SmackDown this week. I understand you got a thought or two about that.
Pretty much, it's just the thought of building up to Survivor Series. When I look at both shows, I'm just gonna flat out and say it right now. SmackDown, 10 times was a damn near perfect. Was a damn near perfect show, especially on how they had to build for Survivor Series. This is one thing you can definitely say about it. It was a crammed show. They had to put so much in, just because they had to make up time because hey, they only have 2 weeks to build Survivor Series. So here it's like, here we go. Here we now are announcing the teams. The matches are already announced. The matches are announced. Everything else, we got to build for Survivor Series. And when it came to that, SmackDown did the better job. And then you look at Raw, Raw was a complete and utter mess.
I honestly don't remember much else about Raw other than
the biggest highlight.
I believe Alexa Bliss came out in a suit at some point.
That happened at the beginning of the show. Both Baron Corbin and Alexa Bliss were named captains of their teams, but yet they're both not wrestling. I mean, Alexa.
What sense does that make?
Alexa, you can understand why she's not wrestling because she's still concussed. She's still on the injured list. Baron, I don't know. I honestly have no idea why.
It was a big bald turd.
And then you have Kurt coming in, adding more unnecessary dialogue, try and build. So Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, winner is team captain. Well, that build was utterly pointless because the whole build of Raw was Braun Strowman trying to murder Baron Corbin. All right. So yeah, that happened.
Mm-hmm. That was my reaction while watching the show, making various pain faces.
So yeah, the whole show is Braun Strowman trying to build Baron Corbin. Kill
Baron Corbin.
The whole story is Braun Strowman trying to kill Baron Corbin, as like we said, downgrade from being the top face of the company. And the best way to describe this show is heel heat. Mm-hmm. You have the Riot Squad breaking, Ruby Riott breaking Natalya, Jimmy Neidhart's glasses to get sympathy for Natalya, and all the crowd can do is count the Riot Squad 10 because the match never officially ended. Yeah, the crowd didn't give a shit.
It just seemed like everything just like screeched to a stop.
Mm-hmm. And you have Seth Rollins having to defend the tag team championship against the newly crowned tag team champions, Authors of Pain, or AOP. Oup. And my immediate response is, oh wow, AOP is the tag team champions in a tag team division that really doesn't exist on Monday Night Raw. At least no legit threats. You have the B team, which AOP already destroyed. You have Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Again, AOP destroyed. You have the Ascension. Copy paste. And then you have Heath Slater and Rhino. That's your Raw tag team division. Who's gonna stand up to AOP? Who's a legit threat that you can have for these two?
I think of nothing.
And that's the problem. And then, to answer our question from last week, this whole thing was just to have another Nia Jax heel turn and team up with Tamina and completely destroy Ember Moon. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on. All that matters is Nia Jax and Tamina are a tag team.
Okay.
Cricket. Oh, pin drop. You could probably hear that because the crowd didn't give a shit. And then Bobby Lashley, with help of Lio Rush, actually defeating Finn Balor. And then Drew McIntyre completely destroying Kurt Angle, which, to be fair, you got to give us that one because Drew McIntyre is basically being pushed beyond. Finally, my opinion.
He's ready. He's way more ready than he was.
And then once Raw really ended, I just stopped and think. Okay, with Roman Reigns gone, they're really like looking at the baby faces. You don't really have much as like someone who's being pushed right and being that top spot. The best you have is Seth Rollins, and he just got destroyed by AOP, and then Dean Ambrose comes in and basically destroys the remaining pieces of that, which I'm gonna be fair. That's the most interesting thing going on with Raw right now. The intrigue of Dean Ambrose coming out is like, you want to know why I turned? You want to know why I did it? Well, I'm not saying it. I'm just gonna keep beating the shit out of you. Okay, that builds intrigue, but if Seth is your top babyface, he just got completely annihilated. And then you look at the rest of the top faces of Raw. Braun downgraded to Baron Corbin. You get Finn Balor, who is basically the punching bag for everybody now, which is the saddest thing in the world. And then you got Elias, who is great on the microphone, knows how to get the crowd going, but is not a good wrestler. I love Elias, but he's terrible in the ring. His matches are boring. And his biggest thing that he had in the ring was when he was a heel and did the sleeper holds. And now he's the one who's having to get the sleeper holds done on him. And he doesn't have the charisma in the ring that he does on the mic.
However, you're not wrong. However, when it comes to Elias, as soon as he comes on my TV, I will turn and stop and watch even if his matches are far from great, I will still watch an Elias match. An Elias match.
Where are we?
I don't know. Either way, I'm still invested enough in Elias that when I'm invested in someone, I can let their flaws slide. Like, I've seen a lot of people give Alexa Bliss flack for her just doing, not doing a lot in the ring. And while that is technically true, I am still entertained by Alexa Bliss enough that I am willing to let that slide. And Elias, to me, is still in that same category. I
give Alexa Bliss a lot more credit. I actually think she's very good in the ring.
Yeah,
I think she's great in the ring. And, of course, she's great on the mic. She actually is. She is well deserved of the spot she's in. Plus, she's beautiful. Mm-hmm. I had to add that in because, hello, nurse. But when I'm trying to look at the top, when you're trying to build stars for Raw, when you have the stars for Raw, at least the top faces, the ones that you want the crowd to be invested in, they're doing kind of a terrible job at putting them in that position. And hopefully there will be more build on that one for weeks to come, especially now that they have no choice but to put someone in that Roman Reigns position. Hopefully multiple people in that Roman Reigns position.
If they're smart, please.
In my opinion, it should be in this order: Seth, Finn, and Braun. Those should be your top 3 faces that you basically should be pushing to be your top stars.
I would agree with you, except I would switch the order because I personally am sort of tired of Seth Rollins being a top guy. Since as far as I'm concerned, he's already there. Spend some time building up the other two because I feel like they need it a lot more than Seth Rollins does.
And now the big story is going with, since the Intercontinental title is back to being the top title on Raw, it's Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins that they're planning for after Survivor Series.
Which is going to be fun.
It'll
be fun. It'll be fresh. It'll inject new life into not just the Intercontinental title, but Raw as a brand as well. And again, it's going to be the workhorse title. These are the new workhorses, and it's going to build a whole new... It's going to take Drew McIntyre to that whole new level that everyone seems to want to be at. So, yeah.
And then you look at SmackDown, which, like I said, many weeks build, all pushed on one show because of the time they were given. They were the perfect... Everything about this show was damn near perfect. With the builds of now Miz and Daniel Bryan having to be co-captains, even to having these backstage segments which they're actually agreeing on stuff and then they're smiling, look at each other, smiling. This is weird. I actually am loving this. And then you see Miz trying to do a selfie and Daniel Bryan pops in and be the photo bomber. It's like
they have great chemistry.
They really do have great chemistry, and I hope they actually build more on this one. And it actually builds drama with the main event, with Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe fighting each other for that last spot, and with Samoa Joe winning, having the history from last week with Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe, and Daniel Bryan being pushed to the point where he's snapping. You see the drama building in the SmackDown team. At least the difference is you actually have a full SmackDown team. Raw only has 3 positions filled. They still need 2 spots to fill. When you have the builds for the Tag Team Survivor Series tournament, they need their teams announced, but their match was New Day versus the Usos to be the team captains, and that match was damn awesome. Which is Usos and New Day. You know their matches are awesome, and they were given time, unlike when they had the New Day bar match at Crown Jewel. And now we have the bar versus AOP at Survivor Series. I didn't know. I actually kind of want to see that.
I want to see it too. I want to see the bar versus Alp.
I kind of hope this leads to, I wouldn't say a face turn, but just the kind of like Becky Lynch level for the bar, where they're not bad guys, but they're not good guys either.
They are the guys.
They are the guys. Becky Lynch
Speaking of Becky Lynch, this was the highlight of SmackDown.
Oh, this was the highlight of SmackDown for me too. I loved the hell out of this promo.
Let's play Becky. And that was fun. I love Nikki Cross so much.
I'm just right now talking about Becky Lynch's promo to Ronda Rousey at the beginning, where she basically took what Ronda said on Raw, which is something we didn't bring up on our Raw talk. I liked Ronda Rousey's promo too, and how she calls herself the baddest bitch in the world. And I like Becky's retort, where it's like, yeah, you may be the baddest bitch, but at the end of Survivor Series, I'm gonna make you mine. I was like, oh, seriously, is there anything Becky can't do? She's awesome. She is just so, oh my God, she's so goddamn cool. And then she's like, I'm having so much, I'm calling an open challenge. And who comes? At first, I actually forgot about Sanity's theme song. I'm like, who the hell?